he did all this stuff. This is not a good that paints a picture of an ugly scene. And so if someone said that about me, I would feel probably the need to defend myself. I didn't touch you. What are you talking about? You're trying to assassinate my character or something. And so that's why I was curious what your take on it was.
Well,
there was nothing that made me happier than throwing that guy over to the PFL.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, if we let guys go, feel bad for the company that gets them. We let them go for a reason.
Yeah.
Here's what's been going down between Dana White and Francis Ngannou lately. The drama between these two has reached a whole new level, and honestly, it doesn't look like it's cooling off anytime soon. Anyone who's been following this knows the bad blood runs deep. We're talking about a rivalry that just exploded back into public view after Dana dropped some serious accusations, basically saying Francis got physical with him following that Stipe Miocic fight. But wait, there's more layers to this story. Word on the street is Francis might actually make his way back to the UFC, which has the whole MMA world buzzing. What makes this even more interesting is Francis just revealed his PFL deal wraps up right before that UFC White House event. Talk about perfect timing. Plus, he's been talking about wanting to face Jon Jones next. And let's be real, that would be absolutely insane if it actually happens.
I'm getting very close with on the PFL contract, so they have to give me a fight.
Okay, when you say close, what do you mean by that? Close to the end?
Yep.
Okay. When is that?
Soon.
You talked about wanting to fight Jon Jones at the White House.
Yeah, I mean, yes, if that could have happened.
Right. Would your PFL contract end before that event happens so that it would work out to where you could explore that?
Yes.
Oh my dear. This is interesting stuff, Francis. But he might not get that fight. It seems like they're mad at him. Because now he wants to fight on the White House card, but Dana White said he doesn't trust him to be on the White House card, so he's not going to put him on there.
I don't know. I think the White House card is the fire away. A lot of things can happen.
I think what's interesting is...
Now, here's where it gets complicated. Dana White is making it abundantly clear he wants absolutely nothing to do with bringing Francis back into the UFC fold. Get this. Dana actually said, letting Francis go to the PFL was the best decision he's ever made in his entire career. That's saying something. His whole argument is that when someone just doesn't mesh well, whether it's on a personal level or business level, cutting ties actually helps everyone involved move forward. Dana even mentioned he deliberately avoids working with people he considers bad characters, which really shows you where his head's at regarding Francis right now. From Dana's viewpoint, this relationship is beyond repair, and he seems perfectly content with that reality.
I do wonder how PFL feel about him going out and saying that his contract's nearly done.
There was nothing that made me happier than throwing that guy over to the PFL.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, if we let guys go, feel bad for the company that gets them. We let them go for a reason.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't have to let anybody go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be in business with guys that I don't like and that I don't think are good guys. And when you talk about good guys and bad guys, I'm in the fight business. Mm-hmm. Shit happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty lenient when it comes to tough guys. Mm-hmm. I'm not lenient with bad guys.
Dana White absolutely unloaded on Francis Ngannou recently, and the things he said were pretty brutal to witness. He straight up labeled Francis a selfish person who only thinks about himself and couldn't care less about anyone else around him. Those are fighting words right there, but here's what really caught people's attention. Dana revealed he actually wanted to release Francis way before he actually did, but he decided to show restraint and give him several opportunities to turn things around. According to Dana's side of the story, Francis never stepped up or changed his approach, and that's ultimately what destroyed their working relationship. Dana feels like he bent over backwards to make things work, and in his mind, Francis just completely wasted every chance he was given.
I guess the one I will tell you is, everybody has this thing about Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He plays the whole, I don't understand the language, and he tries to come off like he's a nice guy, you know what I mean? And people go, oh, it's the language barrier probably. No, there's no language barrier with this guy. He's a bad guy. And I told my guys, I wanted to cut him early. And two of my matchmaker guys were like, oh, no, you don't understand. I said, guys, let me tell you a story. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
Dana White shared this wild story about an interaction with Francis Ngannou that went down right before his fight against Stipe Miocic. And honestly, the details are pretty unbelievable. So apparently Francis walks up to Dana immediately after they finish the press conference. And here's the crazy part. He straight up asks Dana to arrange a private jet to Paris once the fight wraps up. Just casually requests a private plane like he's ordering room service or something. Dana's reaction was to laugh because he figured Francis had to be messing around or just being overly confident. But then reality hit hard when Stipe completely dominated that fight and crushed Francis's dreams. That whole private plane conversation just vanished into thin air along with Francis's championship hopes, and Dana obviously remembers this as a perfect example of Francis's entitled mindset and unrealistic expectations.
So he's going in to fight Stipe Miocic in Boston, and he knows he's going to kill Stipe, right? So after the press conference, we're walking down this hallway, and he comes over to me and he grabs me. And he says, let me tell you what's going to happen. His English is great, okay? No language barrier whatsoever. When this fight's over, you're going to book me a private plane to Paris. And I said, I laughed and said, oh yeah? He goes, I'm not joking. You're going to book me a private plane to Paris. So, okay. So we go our own ways. Stipe Miocic beats the out of him. So that ended that whole conversation.
This next part is where the story takes a really serious turn, because Dana White is actually alleging that Francis physically grabbed his shirt inside his own office, which obviously crosses a major line if it's true. Here's how Dana describes what went down. After Francis lost that devastating fight to Stipe Miocic, he came barging into Dana's office absolutely furious, specifically about not getting a $50,000 bonus that he felt was rightfully his. When Dana tried to exit the office, probably hoping to diffuse what was becoming a really heated argument, Francis allegedly grabbed Dana's shirt and physically forced him back into the room. Dana says his response was swift and direct. He immediately told Francis to get his hands off him without any hesitation. This is obviously an extremely serious accusation because physically confronting the UFC president in an aggressive manner would be completely unacceptable in any professional environment.
And he had just fought, and he comes up to my office, and he's in the hallway or whatever hanging out, and I said, come on in, what's going on? And he was pissed off that he didn't get a $50,000 bonus in his last fight, that he didn't get the bonus of the night. And I said, well, Francis, you didn't get it because this, that. And he's in my office and he's arguing with me, and I'm like, yeah, this guy got this guy got that, and this is why. The conversation's over. I'm starting to leave, and he grabs me by my shirt and like pushes me back in my office. And I said, dude, get your hands off me.
Francis Ngannou made his position crystal clear that he's not about to waste his time defending himself against Dana White's claims about him getting physical in that office confrontation. Francis's comeback was pretty straightforward and challenging. He basically said, if Dana wants to make these allegations, then he should back them up by releasing the security footage, because according to Francis, there had to be cameras covering every inch of that area where this supposed incident took place. If Dana's story is legit, then the video proof should definitely exist, right? Francis mentioned that he's genuinely disappointed by how everything has played out between them, and you can sense in his voice that he's more heartbroken about the whole situation than angry. He's not trying to engage in some public war of words over every single accusation. He just wants the actual truth to surface, whatever that truth happens to be.
Did you ever put your hands on him?
On Dana White?
Yeah.
Well, then he must be the only person that I ever put my hand on.
Well, he said he said you did it with him and Hunter Campbell, where you grabbed his collar.
In his office, that's what he said, right?
Correct.
Well, I'm sure he has a lot of camera there.
So So you would invite him to, hey, show the proof?
I'm not inviting him to do anything.
Francis Ngannou broke down his entire approach to this situation, explaining that he doesn't feel obligated to constantly defend himself or address every single public comment Dana White makes about him. He pointed out that there comes a point in your life when you have to tune out what others are saying about you and stop feeling like you need to justify your every move to the world. According to Francis, if the discussion stays respectful and constructive, then he's completely fine with that and has zero issues. But he's decided he's not going to structure his entire life around responding to every comment or getting sucked into endless back and forth arguments over incidents that may or may not have actually occurred. It's obvious Francis is attempting to stay above the fray and not let himself get pulled down into constant drama.
Whatever he said, if he's in peace with, it's okay.
But one might say that he's trying to like hurt your character, right? These aren't nice things to say about someone, if not true. If not true.
Again, why am I not surprised?
Right. So you don't want to address any of it.
No, I don't find it. I don't find it important in it. I don't find it necessary. At some point, he was, but over time, he's not anymore.
In a pretty significant development, Dana White has now walked back and clarified his earlier story about Francis Ngannou, and this new version actually shifts the narrative considerably. He's now explaining that Ngannou never actually got physical with him, in the threatening way people might have interpreted from his previous statements. Dana stressed that there was no real physical confrontation in terms of a fight or genuine aggression. He's correcting the earlier impression that some people formed that Ngannou had grabbed or shoved him in a menacing manner. Dana White explained, and here's his exact words. Let me set the record straight on something. When I mention the physical aspect, it's not like Francis stormed in here and intimidated us or anything like that. We're in the office, and he's arguing that he deserves the $150K bonus. I told him that's not happening. We had already decided who was getting the one. I'm in there with him for a while, and finally I'm like, I'm finished. I have another meeting I need to attend. This guy, Francis, used to treat the UFC headquarters like his personal home. He literally spent entire days here, eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, just lounging around. So I started walking toward the door, and he placed his hand on my chest and said, "We're not finished talking," and I responded, "Oh, yes. We absolutely are. We're completely done talking." It's not like Francis came in acting physical in a threatening manner, but that's exactly what happened between us. Francis Ngannou shared his disappointment about how everything unraveled with Dana White, reflecting on how their relationship fell apart from what it used to be. He wondered why it had to end up this way, why things couldn't have been worked out differently, saying he was just disappointed in how everything turned out and the path their relationship ultimately went down.
Again, why am I not surprised?
Right. So you don't want to address any of it.
No, I don't find it. I don't find it important in it. I don't find it necessary. At some point, he was, but over time, he's not anymore. I have less energy for drama, for stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to be in peace and people leave me alone. That's all.
Do you think at some point you will be able to be left alone when it comes to Dana White, maybe even have a good relationship? Is this something that you would like? A handshake, hello, how are you? A cordial relationship?
Switching gears completely, Alexander Volkanovski has put all those retirement rumors to bed, and he's making it obvious he's ready to add more big wins to his record before he even considers stepping away from competition. Alexander Volkanovski is stating definitively that retirement is not even on his radar at this stage of his career. He's actually looking forward to potential showdowns with Lerone Murphy and Movsar Evloev, two really dangerous opponents. He sees both of these fighters as legitimate challenges that would truly test him, and he genuinely thinks those battles would add significant weight to his legacy in the sport. He's not hunting for easy opponents or warm-up fights. He wants genuine competition that will solidify his position in featherweight history.
Will this be your last time in the octagon?
Yeah, I'm seeing that everywhere as well. I don't know where that come from. No, it's not. It hasn't been planned to be my last fight, so you don't need to really worry about that. I think you're going to just take it as it goes from here on, but there's definitely no plans of that. My plans are going out there, and as I told you not taking too much damage, going out there, really setting the statement, and make it, be really impressive in there, and then maybe get a quick turnaround. I think you've got a couple of other guys as well, like Movzar, Lerone Murphy. They're undefeated and all that, so they're, for the legacy, they look like they might be pretty good as well. So we'll see what happens. This one, do this in Sydney, put on a show. But again, definitely no plans for that.
Alexander Volkanovski also talked about feeling really sorry for Movzar Ivlov missing his title opportunity, and you could hear the sincerity in his voice. He recalled pushing for Movzar right after his own fight, thinking that Ivlov had genuinely earned his shot at the championship through his performances and winning streak. But when Ivlov had to withdraw due to situations he couldn't control, that incredible opportunity just slipped away. Volkanovski has tremendous respect for Movzar and thinks he truly deserved that title shot, so watching him lose out on it was tough.
Or Murphy?
Well, I called for Movzar straight after the fight. Then I knew he was going to be fighting. Then he pulled out. I knew he was meant to maybe postpone, and then he didn't take it. And I'm like, well, there goes your opportunity. So that wasn't long before I knew that wouldn't happen. That's the thing, man. Like, I feel for him in a sense where I know he definitely deserved. That's why I called for him. But I totally understand how this game works. You can't be that guy. You got to be the guy that's willing to fight anyone, anywhere. Put your hand up.
Alexander Volkanovski explained the scenario with Movzar Evlov and Lerone Murphy, mentioning that whether these two end up battling each other or take different fights in the meantime will really dictate when he gets to face them. But he wants to be absolutely clear about something. He completely plans to fight both of them eventually, no matter how the scheduling works out. He's promising both fighters that they won't miss their chance to face him. That opportunity is still on the table for them. That said, Volkanovski also pointed out that he thinks waiting too long isn't good for anyone involved. Because timing is everything in this game, and staying inactive for extended periods can really damage a fighter's momentum and career path.
Lerone did do that, Lerone Murphy. Fought a guy at short notice in Pico and got a massive finish, so I thought it was going to be him in December. Then I knew the UFC were waiting for John Silver and Diego, so I was like, oh, maybe it's going to be one of these guys. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this is going to be a fun fight. And it was, and that's where they went with it. But it don't matter. We'll see what happens, whether Movzar and Lerone fight somebody or each other, prove themselves, and then I'll fight them straight after. So don't worry, they won't miss their opportunity. If they back themselves, take on another fight then, or wait, whatever. But I mean, I don't think waiting's a good idea. As I said, take your opportunities just like Lopez did, and then this is where you'll be.
Diego Lopez jumped into this conversation too, openly acknowledging that both Movzar Ivlov and Lerone Murphy have completely earned their title opportunities through their wins and performances. He wants everyone to see the situation clearly from where he's standing. Lopez emphasized that he already sent a powerful message with his second-round knockout win and earned his spot in the title picture the same way any other fighter would by winning decisively. He asked this straightforward question that's tough to dispute: if the UFC presented me with a title fight opportunity, why would I possibly turn it down? That just wouldn't make any sense for a fighter trying to advance their career. With another title fight opportunity coming up in Australia, Diego says he's genuinely pumped and prepared to capitalize on this chance that's been given to him.
The people need to understand one thing. Before my last fight, I tell man times the interview, because the people ask me, oh, you think if you won this fight, you are next for the title? Or you think he moves out, let him off deserve the fight for the title? No, I tell for in man's interviews, like, okay, look guys, moves out deserve for the title, of course. Let him off, two guys undefeated, both guys deserve for the title. But I have one great fight in my front now. I take a great win. I put my name again on the table for fight the title, no? Yeah, I think I do this, no? I do a great knockout in the second round. Put my name again on the table. UFC send me the chance. I'm taking the fight. Now I'm so excited. I'm so excited because this is my second shot for the title in Australia. I'm so excited for this.
On his end, Volkanovski has stated that he expects the Diego Lopez rematch to be fairly clear-cut from his viewpoint, and he fully plans to demonstrate that Lopez hasn't actually bridged the gap between them, despite what some people might believe. Volkanovski thinks that if he follows the correct game plan and performs well, he can make the fight appear effortless, almost like a clinic in featherweight combat. He feels like he's about to send a really powerful message in this bout, one that might actually leave Lopez wondering where he truly fits in the division when it's over. He even pictures telling Diego afterward not to be too hard on himself, because Lopez might enter that cage believing he's progressed significantly and narrowed the distance, only to watch the outcome go against him again and understand the gap still exists. Volkanovski is extremely confident that his performance will clearly demonstrate the difference between where he stands as a fighter and where Diego currently is in his development.
And no disrespect to Lopez, make this look easy.
Okay.
I think I can go out there and just fight the right fight, and show him that, he's going to think he's leveled up. I'm going to show him that that's not the case.
Okay.
And I'm going to show him that, you fought a great fight the first time, and this time he's, maybe after we'll chat to him, because I believe I really am going to set a statement. I don't know where his head's going to be at after this one. I'll just let him know. It goes, hey mate, that's a game. Don't take it too hard. Like obviously he's going to be like, I thought I'm improving now. This happened. I don't know why I care about how I'm already thinking, but that's honestly how I feel like it's going to be. I think
Volkanovski even stated, and here's his exact quote, "I'm going to go out there and really make a statement that people can't ignore." Beyond that, Alexander Volkanovski has this intense motivation to show that he remains the exact same elite competitor at the very top of the featherweight rankings, despite all the battles he's endured. He admits openly that he's gotten older and isn't quite the same physical force he was several years back when he was in his absolute peak. That's just the harsh truth of getting older in fight sports. But here's his point. He still truly thinks he's far superior to everyone else in terms of technique, experience, and fight intelligence. He plans to make that completely obvious in February, especially with the home crowd in Australia supporting him and giving him that additional boost and drive. Volkanovski is very specific that he doesn't want a repeat of the punishment he absorbed in his previous fight, or another war that keeps everyone wondering what's going to happen next, even though he recognizes that can occur at any second in this sport, because it's fighting. His objective this time is to deliver a clean, commanding performance and send a message that leaves zero questions about where he ranks in the division.
I am still that guy. I'm still the best, and I still am a type of guy that can be untouchable out there. I am older.
Yeah.
Am I the same guy as I was 2-3 years ago? No, but am I still that much better than these guys? I believe so, and I plan on proving that February 1st. Home crowd in front of everyone. Everyone's going to be there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to take damage like last time.
Yeah.
I don't want.
Alexander Volkanovski stays completely focused on his main objective of becoming a champion in 2 weight classes, and he's actively pursuing rematches against Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria to handle some unfinished business. He admits, with total honesty, that he can't demand a champion versus champion fight right now. That's just not how this business operates when you're coming off certain outcomes. But he outlines his strategy, explaining that after he beats Diego Lopez convincingly and potentially defeats another unbeaten contender after that, it would be totally reasonable at that point to lobby for those massive championship fights that everyone wants to witness. He's thinking tactically about rebuilding his argument to secure those huge battles.
Well, I'd love to rematch, and get them wins back on like Islam Makhachev or Ilia Topuria, but I'm pretty real with it. I understand that, I can't just call for a champ fight right now. I know I've got work to do in my division. Being a champion is a responsibility, and I take that serious. I know I've got guys in my division, and I don't want to hold up the division. So I want to do what I need to do, and then you never know. Maybe after what I said I'm planning on doing in Sydney, Feb 1st, go do that, and then maybe have the turnaround, and then get another victory over undefeated guy. Maybe that's, I think that's fair enough to be calling for maybe a champ.
The featherweight champion also presented this really compelling point that elite-level matchups like his fight with Islam Makhachev and even contests like Marab Davalishvili versus Petr Yan really demonstrate what MMA's true technical excellence looks like when you have 2 top fighters competing. He recognizes that discussions about when referees should restart position during those extended grappling sequences will always be complex and somewhat debatable, because every referee manages those situations differently based on their judgment, and the choices they make rarely please everyone watching. He referenced the Yan versus Marab fight as absolute evidence that even with continuous wrestling throughout the contest, a fight can still be completely action-packed and display everything amazing that the sport has to offer. In comparison, some fights become non-stop striking battles, while others, including his own meeting with Islam, feature serious damage being inflicted with the kind of technical precision and elite-level grappling that seasoned fans who really understand the sport can truly respect and value.
It's just how it is. It is a big part of the sport. But I mean, yeah, like it just needs to be managed the right way. I think it's up to the ref and how they want to ref it. A lot of people, again, there's always going to be someone that's unhappy. But let's look at Peter Yan and Marab. There was a lot of wrestling, and how much that was a fun fight. It had everything.
Unbelievable.
Some of the best fights in the UFC. You get the ones that they're just scrapping. They're just going at it. But then you have some like that fight, like myself and Islam. The real mixed martial arts. A lot of damage was done. A lot of the transition. If you were seeing real skill involved, people are going to appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So that's all that really matters.
So that covers everything we've got from today's breakdown, diving into all this controversy and news, and hopefully you've really enjoyed exploring all these storylines with us. Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, because we love hearing your take on all this Francis and Dana controversy and whether you think Volkanovski can deliver that statement performance he's promising. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already for more compelling MMA content covering all the latest news, controversy, and fight analysis in the world of mixed martial arts.